I've been meaning to ask you since some time now that you have experienced the same coalition back in 2022, 23, 16 months government. How do you see they are going to be any different with this 5 years mandate? Because nobody knows their economic vision. Nobody has so far asked them how they are going to do things differently. What is your experience saying?
Thank you very much. There are going to be some fundamental differences between the PDM government, which was in power till last year, and the one that is now being formed. I think the fundamental difference, in my opinion, is that the PM now is clear, at least or theoretically, that they have a 5-year mandate. Mm-hmm. The last government, knew very well that they had to go into elections in the last in 16 months. And therefore, the whole issue of going back to the polls dominated decision making.
All right.
All the difficult decisions that were required to be taken in many internal meetings. A lot of people would say that if these difficult decisions are taken at this point, they would cost us very dearly in the election. So the cloud of elections hung over that government. This time around, that's not the case. They have a 5-year mandate. So I think that what we're going to see in the very early days is an attempt by Shahbaz Sharif Saab, if he becomes Prime Minister, which is likely, to take some very difficult economic decisions. Mm-hmm. So I think that will also show to us the seriousness of this and the resolve of this government. I don't think we will have to wait 6, 7, 8 months if we don't see very concerted efforts to tackle the most difficult problems and take the most difficult decisions despite knowing the blowback from the electorate. Then I think we may have an idea that this time around, this PDM 2.0, if you may call it that, is very serious about undertaking the reforms that we require.
Well, let's go back a little. Muslim League Nawaz, I think it is very wise to say that they have been in the politics of Punjab since last 40 years. And this time around, they could not strike a majority that they were seeking for. They were actually, have been talking about it, that we are not going into any coalition government. We need a 1/3 majority. What happened? Why have they lost in Punjab?
You're absolutely correct. PMLN has dominated the politics of Punjab for the last couple of decades. And this was seen as their base. And I think in many ways they took it for granted. I think the party remained in denial while the PTI made inroads into Punjab. The party also somehow refused to acknowledge the changes that were happening in the Punjab electorate. They also somehow missed the fact that the youth were becoming a much more important demographic than their traditional vote bank, which was skewing towards older ages. So I think a lot of this was happening right in front of their eyes, and I think it was PMLN's refusal to see the reality and to adapt to it that has to a stage where now perhaps they are not even, forget about being dominant, I think they are now on the wrong side of the Punjab electorate. So given the fact, Zunaira, that this is their base, this is the place where their entire politics emanates from. If they're losing this, then their entire political future is at stake. And I think if they cannot understand this changed landscape, and if they cannot do what is required to be done to revive their support base in Punjab, then I think Noon League is looking at very, very difficult prospects in the coming years.